You gotta love that standing up and proud to be Black at the end of that video. Happy Sunday. Welcome to TOMA Nation's Sunday worship service. We are an all inclusive Black conscious movement dedicated to the social, economic, and spiritual survival of Black people here in urban America. If you enjoy what you see and hear today, then we would like to extend our invitation for you and your family to join us each and every Sunday from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. here live on Facebook from Chicago, Illinois. Tune in and be fed by God's messengers. For more information, you can reach us at 708-730-4858. Please join me as I recite our opening. In the name of the everlasting Father, he that causes all that exists to exist, he that is self-existent, he who directs the sunships of millions of years, and he who made time the seed of the universe. Known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aten, among the Hebrews as Ansar, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims in the Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari. I bear witness that all these names refer to the same one Almighty God, and it is to him who I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those Black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America, and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient but holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Please join me as we recite our 13 points of what we believe and know. Please mute yourself. Number 1, we believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2, we believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Ami. Number 3, we believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all Black. Number 4, we believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a Black man. I'm hearing background noise. Can you please mute yourself? Number 5, we believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6, we believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7, we believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8, We believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a denounced objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9, we believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the Black communities of America and the world. Number 10, we believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11, we believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America. Number 12, we believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the Black community of weapons, break up the Black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young Black males under the undercover code name Able 2029. Number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the world. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the creator of the universe under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Raheem Kassad Aten, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the communities of urban America. Our goal: to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can't rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Please join me and raise your right fist as we recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in this future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it. Historians shall write of it, this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 millions back of it, whose destiny depends on it, the red, black, and green of it. Oh, flag of mine. Here's to the green of it. Young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it. Maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it. Pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. Thanks to God for giving it, this great flag of mine. Please continue to have your right fist raised as we sing our Black National Anthem.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun, let us march on till victory is won.
Black power, black power, black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people. Thank you for joining us this Sunday for our weekly Sunday worship service. We are pleased to have you. Today, our speaker for today is none other than our leader, teacher, and God, Minister Raheem Kassad Alton, the founder of the TOMA Nation. The title of his lecture today is Two Great Men. Thank you so much for joining us today.
In the name of the everlasting Father, he that causes all that exists to exist, he that is self-existent, he who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, he who made time, the seat of the universe. He's known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aten. Among the Hebrews, Ansa, Yahweh, Elohim. Among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah. Among the Muslims as Allah, the one God. Among the Rastafarians as Jah, Rastafari. Among the Yoruba tribe as Olodumare, Obatala, and many other Orisha gods. But I bear witness that all of those names refer to the same one, Almighty God. And it is to him whom I give reverence, or it is to that entity whom I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, I mean those children of those Black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, we are that lost 13 tribe born here in North America, and that we are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood, all the nationalities and nations of the world flow through our veins. I greet you all in the ancient but yet holy words of peace, in the languages of our Father, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Barakani, Lafia, and Ashe. Welcome, welcome to the TOMA Nation, aka Temple of Mercy Association. I am Brother Minister Raheem Kassad Alton, founder of this great movement since its inception in 1990, along with the co-founder, Minister Omari Jaheed Alton, and First Lady of our movement. We say besides every great man should be a great woman. And so that is our sister, my wife, First Lady of this movement, Sister Makita Alton, Makita Aisha Alton. So today again, I welcome you, as you've been welcomed already by our announcer and host, Sister Ebony Stevenson. I'm welcoming you again. Sometime in church, they say you're welcome once, you're welcome twice, you're welcome in the name of Jesus Christ. That's what they'll say. So I'm welcoming you 2 or 3 times because I want you to feel welcome when you tune in to us. The subject today says 2 great men. And the 2 great men I want to expound on, not diminishing the other great men and even women who came before us, but based on our prescribed readings. We have a prescribed reading for every month of the year. And this month, our focus is Marcus Mosiah Garvey and Dr. Webb Evans. And this month also is not only Marcus Garvey Month, but it's also known as National Black Business Month, where we focus primarily on educating our people in the economics of Black America, educating our people on why we need to buy Black, why we need to circulate our dollars, why we need to build and create jobs and create businesses for our people, where we talk about not just buying black, but buying back our communities. All within this month is what we focus on primarily. Yes, we are an all-inclusive, black conscious, righteous movement. Our spirituality comes from our working hard to be righteous, to be pleasing in the eyesight of the Creator who created us all. And we do not take away from our spirituality just because we talk about economics or anything. If you don't lead with God or the Creator or whoever your higher power is, you are going to be subject to failure. So now, I want to talk to you, like I said, about those two great men, Dr. Webb Evans and the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And because TOMA deals with the oneness of God, TOMA deals with the unity and peace that we're trying to expound in our communities. And that's what we lead with, unity and peace. And so that's why we have no problem talking about Marcus Garvey, Elijah Muhammad, or Ben Ami, or any of those names you heard us mention when we were talking to you about what we believe and know. Because we know that we stand on the shoulders of all those who came before us, and we must learn from them all being men, but yet they all made mistakes, trial and error. And so that's why you heard us say we are not to repeat those mistakes, where you cannot say that and you cannot keep from repeating them if you don't know what they were. And that's why we study them, we read about them, we take and draw from what they did that was good and that helped and that works, and keep it alive today as we go forward and build on it. We build on it. We make it more refined. We improve on it. We add to it, all for the liberation of Black people in North America and then in the world. That's the purpose. That's the goal. And so we start out promoting unity. And we say we believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of our religious denomination, the names we call ourselves, the titles we give ourselves, the rituals that we do that might be different than another person's ritual, the particular dress that you decide to wear, whether it's a robe or whether you want to wear a kufi or a crown or whatever it is, it should not matter as long as your holy book and your way and your manner is giving reverence to the supreme, almighty creator of the heavens, earth, and universe. If it's doing that, then we serving the same entity. We got the same purpose. And that's what we are about. That's what TOMA is about. That's what the Temple of Mercy is about. That's what we stand on. And so let's move on now. And I want to start with Dr. Webb Evans, because, you know, I wasn't with Marcus Garvey. I wish I could have been. Hell, I wish I could have been with Nat Turner. I would love to have been with Harry Tubman. Oh, yeah. Because they didn't sit back and just take stuff as it was. They knew that in order to make a change, you had to make some moves. But I was privy to be with Dr. Webb Evans, who made his transition in 2015 at the age of 101 years young. I happened to come across this brother when he was 90 years young. 90. I never knew that I would meet a man 90 years old as active as this 90-year-old was, getting around like this 90-year-old got around. Now, why would I place him in that lineup? Did he do what Garvey did? No. Hell, if we had Elijah, did he do what Elijah did? No. But he spent 67 years. He started the movement in 1961. He spent those years educating, constantly putting out literature, going door to door, going from state to state, begging our brothers and sisters to buy black, educating our brothers and sisters in schools, colleges, on why we are in a state of emergency, why we're on the economic bottom, and what we need to do to get off, the work that we need to do in the community to get our community back. He continued every day, all his working moments. If he went into a place and saw free newspapers, he would go get those newspapers and take them home and then put in the middle of those newspapers something that he wrote, and then take the newspapers back. Here's something I want to read to you that he wrote. All right, you can't see it, but I'm going to read it. And this is why I say I'm glad that I met him, because in 1963, I was 6 years old. And so if you go all the way back to Garvey in the 20s, and all the way up to 1963, and then all the way up to 2021, you'll see that what he's talking about at that time in 63 is the same thing that was going on when Garvey was speaking. It's the same thing that's happening right now, 2021, which should make you sad that we have not moved an inch forward. That's sad. But this is the type of stuff he would put inside the newspapers. All right? I'm going to read it to you, so you'll know about this Dr. Webb Evans. You need to know why he's such a great man, not only in my life, but in the lives of all those who he met in effect. He says, information you need, pass it on. Now, the title was, Who is Keeping Us Down? 1963 now. He said, we help to keep ourselves down by supporting others instead of supporting our own. We're forever finding causes to not do business with each other. And that is true still today. We spend our money to help build factories, businesses, churches, and make jobs for other races, while many of our people are out of jobs. Church members are begging, and the whole race suffers. The Jewish people are persecuted all over the world, but by being united, they're able to operate some of the largest factories in the world, own some of the best hospitals, have some of the most beautiful synagogues, and make enough jobs for all of their people, with some to spare. Us, at that time being called Negroes, he says, the Negroes, by refusing to take pride in our own race and unite together, have to beg others for jobs, beg others for credit, and many other necessities. To you who have money in the bank, is it in the bank that's helping our people? We eat as much as any race. So where's our food supermarkets? Where are our wholesale grocery stores? All the food Negroes eat, we don't buy enough groceries from ourselves to have a wholesale grocery store. Negroes drink as much beverages or more than any other race. 99% of all the beverages sold in our community are sold to us by people who live in other communities. We buy merchandise from companies who will not even hire a Negro. See, Dr. Webb Evans walked with Martin Luther King. Dr. Webb Evans knew Vernon John. You need to learn who that guy was. He was with Dr. Webb Evans in the last parts of his life. Dr. Webb Evans knew A. Philip Randolph, worked with him, walked with him. So imagine how I felt being in the presence of a person who was in their presence back then, alive today, talking and walking with me. So from his 90s, when he was 90 years old to when he made his transition at 105, I was there. And proud to see it, and proud to keep his name out there. I walked with him. And when he met me, we already had Temple of Mercy, TOMA Nation. We were already speaking on health, wealth, and knowledge of self, and buying black. So God knew what he was doing because he was not going to allow me personally at this time to be lifting someone up above the movement called TOMA Nation, the Temple of Mercy, but that it would be founded by myself, and moving forward, we would be the beginning of a fresh new movement. And then going forward, people will remember what we laid down, and knowing that we were on the shoulders of those who came before us, so that if they were in any of those movements, they wouldn't feel offended by our movement, and they would feel comfortable being in this movement that recognizes all their leaders. Isn't that deep? Going forward, looking at the future. And that was the vision God gave me, in unity and in peace for Black people in North America, then in the world. Webb Evans said, we buy merchandise from companies who will not even hire us. At the present time, many of our bread men are being laid off. What do you mean by bread men? Well, at one time, a guy named Reverend M. Earl Sark, who was even before Martin Luther King, I had the privilege to meet this guy, who was one of Webb's friends. He died at the age of 90-something. This guy was boycotting Wonder Bread trucks, and also trucks that brought bread into the community and stocked the stores and shelves with bread. He boycotted them with his group. I forgot the name of his group, the Christian something. But no, the Crusaders for Justice, that was the name of his organization. And he boycotted those trucks. And he said, why should these people, these corporations, be bringing food and trucks in our community, stocking the shelves, but our people still walking around with no job? Why can't our people drive those trucks into our own community if we're gonna stock the shelves with your bread? And he was successful in getting many jobs for Black people on those trucks to drive them and get them into the community. That was part of that civil rights type of movement, you see. And so this is what Webb was saying. He said, at the present time, many of our bread men are being laid off. See? And so he said, because people are buying bread from companies who won't hire a Negro to work at the plant nor deliver. The average Negro has never learned to think about who he's helping or who he's hurting when spending his money. Where are our cleaning plants? Where are our dry goods stores? Our banks, our car agencies, our drugstores? Where are they? Wherever they are, if you find them, though, let's start supporting them before they dry up. If we don't have them, don't you think it's about time to start building some? When we have won all our fights for integration, we still will not have all the rights due to us, nor the respect, until we break that chain of economic slavery and build our economy as other races have done. And we recognize Dr. Webb Evans, and he has a book out, and two great men that are still alive today. All right? Our brother Reven Fellows, a great man that's just out here just giving his life to keep people together, keep Black people knowing who the other one is and out here doing stuff that's going on, continuing to keep the history of Blacks in Chicago. And matter of fact, just recently was one of the authors are putting out a book called The Black Agenda that you all need to get. That's Brother Regan Fellows. And he got together with State Rep LaShawn Ford, and I want to show you another reason I mentioned Dr. Webb Evans, thanks to two great men, Brother Regan Fellows and State Rep LaShawn Ford. It says on the inaugural 14th-year anniversary of the National Black Business Month, from August 1st to 31st, Brother Regan Fellows introduced an idea to State Rep LaShawn Ford to recognize Dr. Webb Evans during the month of August. We're proud to recognize Resolution HR 0608, 99th General Assembly, submitted by State Rep LaShawn K. Ford of the 8th District. This in honor of Reverend Dr. Webb Evans, November 20, 1913, to February 23rd, 2015. That's his birth date and his transition date. Founder of the United Black American Progress Association. We are acknowledging his work and contribution for the National Black Business Month during the month of August. Be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the 99th General Assembly of the State of Illinois that we designate the month of August in 2015 as Buy Black, Love Black, and Give Black in the state of Illinois in honor of Dr. Webb Evans. That's the other reason that I have to mention him during the month of August, along with the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garden. Well, you would ask now, who is Marcus Garden? Well, let's talk about what he's done so you can know that in the 1920s, brothers and sisters, if you don't know your history and you don't know your past, you won't have no strength to draw from something to motivate you to go forward. Because it looks like we ain't done nothing, and you'll feel like you started something. So this man, they tried to erase from Black history. You don't read about him in the history books in the school. Why would that be so important to keep him out of the books? Because the white man viewed the Black man with a different light. He views us as 3/5 of a human being. And so what right should a nigga like him, this is how they would say it, who was out of his place by doing what he did, why should we bring light to that and then put it in the schools to have a Negro like him and others to follow that and then be like him, which means you'll be out of your place too. Look what he did. He was a master printer at the age of 20. He produced a newsletter called the Negro World from 1918 to 1933, a newsletter. And matter of fact, that newsletter was printed in 5 different languages and mailed and shipped all over the world. All right, the Negro World. What did it say? Let's put it over. Negro World, New Negro Steamship Company, Africa. Look at that. He was the founding president of the UNIA, Universal Negro Improvement Association, and ACL, African Communities League. He believed in self-reliance, all right? He believed in nationhood and economic independence. He owned and operated the Black Star Line Steamship Corporation in 1919. The Black Star Line and its successor company, the Black Cross Navigation and Trading Company, operated 4 ships. You hear that? 4 ships. I'm not talking about Tom Joyner cruise ship, which he didn't own that, which they could have got together and took their money and bought one for themselves, but they don't understand what Dr. Webb and Garner was talking about. But yet, 4 steamships that he owned. And in 1919, he formed the Negro Factory Corporation, built and operated factories, brothers and sisters, in the big industrial centers of the United States. He established a chain of grocery stores. Find a chain of grocery stores that are Black owned in any of your states right now and let me know. Don't come texting me and putting something in on Facebook of some mall and pawn store that a black person might own? I said a chain. This man owned a chain of grocery stores. The last person I knew that owned a chain of grocery stores was Yahweh Ben Yahweh down in Florida. And guess what? America took him out too. Yes, the American government, like they took out God. He owned a steam laundry, which is a cleaners, restaurant, a tailoring shop, dressmaking shop, a publishing company, and he introduced to us what you see behind me, the colors red, black, and green in the form of a flag. And it was established as our flag August 13th, 2020. Then he established August 31st as a national holiday for Black people all over the world. He negotiated with Liberia, the state of Liberia, for Black people in America. They didn't want to stay here to colonize and assist with the development of Liberia in 1920, which started the Back to Africa movement. But he never said everybody go back to Africa. He said if you wanted to go back to Africa, then I'm gonna make a deal with Liberia so that you can go back to your motherland. Yes, this man was erased from our Black history. And my duty, one of them, is to make sure you know who he is for days and years to come. Now, before I knew that there was a Marcus Garvey chapter here in Chicago, TOMA, Temple of Mercy Association, picked up that banner and made sure that people knew who Garvey was during the month of August. We even did a Marcus Garvey parade every year for at least 8 years. We did a Marcus Garvey parade throughout the south side of Chicago, in the ghettos. We had a lot of naysayers. We had a lot of people speaking against us. We had a lot of people, even some saying, oh no, that's that ghetto parade. If we do the Marcus Garvey parade, it's got to go through Bronzeville, a Hyde Park, a high class group. Well, even though even them Negroes didn't know who Garvey was, but the people on the grassroots ground needed to know so that they can have someone to pull up on. Because they couldn't pull up on the white Jesus. So we had to give them a Black Christ, which was the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And we kept them going until we found out about chapter 401 and chapter 429. And we came to them, but they didn't want to work with us. Isn't that a shame? So we continued doing it on and on and on until I met a brother by the name of Clyde Banks of chapter 429, of which I became then a member of chapter 429. So a lot of people, they like to be quiet about certain things so that it can become a rumor. And so you'll hear people say, Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a member of the Garvey movement. So what? What does that mean? Matter of fact, it should mean unity. So you don't have to whisper about Minister Raheem. Yes, I am a member of the UNIA. And Brother Clyde Banks is a member of Webb Evans' organization, in which I am the chairman and president. He's the member of that organization as well as the president of the 429 chapter of Marcus Garvey's organization. Look at that type of unity. We should not be afraid to say that, yes, we were. I think every leader should be a member of each other's organization, and that we should delegate someone from our organization to be present at those meetings. Look at what type of unity that. Look at all that stuff that God did. All this before Elijah Muhammad. Not trying to throw no dirt, but just placing history where it belongs. So we kept it going until I met Brother Clyde. Then Clyde joined in with me and helped me to keep it going. Then later on, another brother took over the other chapter, 401, Brother Marua Farrell. And now together I work with both of those brothers and moving forward and keeping Garvey's name out there. I pray that when the Creator takes me, that same amount of effort is put into keeping my name out there so that the work won't be in vain. So now, I said, beside every great man, there's a great black woman. Some things you didn't know. There's a book that we studied that Marcus Garvey, that was about Marcus Garvey. It's called The Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. All right? And that's the book we read in TOMA. I have other books. That's the book the Temple of Mercy reads. So I want you, I'm telling you about this for a reason, right? Amy Jacques, I guess that's how you say it. But her name was Amy. She was Marcus Garvey's second wife and his principal lieutenant during his incarceration in an Atlanta penitentiary from 1925 to 1927. All right? She was born in Jamaica, just like Garvey was. She moved to the United States in 1917, became involved in the United Negro Improvement, not United, Universal Negro Improvement Association. The following year after she heard Garvey speak, she became his personal secretary and traveling companion, as well as the office manager at the United, I keep saying United, see this was written by someone else who didn't know, at the Universal Negro Improvement Association's headquarters, and the secretary of the Negro Factories Corporation in 1920. Now we say in point number one, we got 13 points of believe I know. And we say that we should repeat the mistakes of these past messages because they all made them. Now, unless you're creating a monarchy, which is family, then your movement should not consist of your brother as treasurer, your wife as secretary, your nephew's name on the bank account, your y'all get the picture, right? That's a bad mistake. You don't do that. See, you want to keep the morale of your organization up, and you want to keep down as many rooms as you can. In TOMA, the finances that come through this temple is transparent for every member of the temple to know where the money went, even though the members here pay what we call tithes, 10% of their earnings. And because we understand what they mean, that 10% is not really theirs. 9/10 of what they earn is theirs, but 1/10 goes back to a service or a movement that is practicing the right moral principles of right conduct and uplifting their people and keeping God first. So that's really their money. It's not their money. It's the money of the place where they sent it to. But because I'm transparent and to keep down crap going on in their families, oh, you get your money, just get that. But they know exactly where it's going. They know always how much is in the account. Why not? What do we have to hide? If you're a righteous movement, then be righteous. Amy Jacques Garvey and Marcus Garvey married in July 1922, shortly after his divorce from his first wife. Well, we're going to mention her. Her name is Amy Ashwood. Got to give her a props too. It's not easy being the wife of a grassroots individual that's a nationalist and trying to do something for his people. And when you find one who is and going to stand beside you like that, you found a gem. You found a diamond. When my wife met me, I was in music, not in TOMA. It was TOMA, but it was Temple of Music Association. Years later, it became Temple of Mercy. So she moved and transitioned over from the music life and world I was in to the ministry with me. Just like my best friend, who was my band director, music director, Minister Omari, moved right in and transitioned with me into the ministry. And I'm most grateful that they've done that and that they had it and that we're still present making it happen. During the period of Marcus Garvey's trial, his conviction, and his imprisonment on mail fraud charges from 1923 to 1927, Amy emerged as a major propagandist for him in an effort to improve Garvey's reputation and raise funds to pay for his defense. Now listen at this mail fraud charges. I want to read something to you real quick. When Marcus Garvey was in prison, something he said that you need to hear. All right? He said, this is after he was released from jail September 10, 1923. He said, I'm not peeved, sometimes we say pissed, at what has been done to me. He said, it's natural and it's expected. See, those who are in this type of position, it's expected. It's natural. They're going to come at you because they don't want you, if you got a government on your shoulder, to wake up the dead people, the masses of our people who don't even know nothing about it, who walking around like cattle and sheep, being led to the slaughter, taking anything they tell us to take, doing anything they tell us to do. A man come around and share with you and wake you up and show you who you are, whose you are, and what your potential is. That man becomes a danger to the people who keeping you down. But listen what Garvey said. He said that's expected, that in an effort like mine to serve humanity, and Blacks' humanity at that, he said powerful enemies will be encountered. He said the enemies I have are chief, primarily of my own race, and they have worked hard and long to discredit and destroy me. I had to get that out. I had to get that out. Because from the first Jews we know about that was of Jesus' own race to right now, we still get Judas in our movement. And most of the Judas become disgruntled, or they're paid by an outside force who wants to see you go down. If they can't slander your name or put rumors out on you or put lies out on you to destroy your character before your people, if that don't work, then they send somebody in, or they pay someone, or they start taking out some of your relatives or some of your closest people. Anything to get you to shut up. Some of our brothers that start out as activists, they give you a job and promote you out of influence of your people. So you won't say anything. See, white folks look 5 and 10 years and 20 years ahead. Black people just look at now and tomorrow. But you gotta know your enemies. You gotta know your enemies from your friends. See, there's a white man that wanted to do a bio on me. And I said, well, how much is it gonna cost? He said, oh, nothing. I see potential. I know the money and the kickback that we're gonna get. I said, wow, that's deep. And quickly, thinking black, I ran to a black man who write for people and do books. And I said, bro, I came to you because I know this must be something. They want my bio. A white man was gonna pay me basically to do my bio and get the residuals off of it later. I said, I thought I'd come to you first, give a black man that opportunity. He said, bro, I know what you said. He said, but I need money now. He said, maybe he saw all of that. He said, but what I see is $20 a page. Now, if you got that, we can get started. See, a white man will see a person that talks like me at the age of 20 or 19 and say, man, he'll project forward 10 years and see how dangerous that person could be speaking that kind of language and waking up the people like that. And they'll say, man, we got to snuff him out. We got to give him a job. We got to promote him on that job, out of influence. Oh, we got to kill some people around him that he loves, or if he won't know it's us. See what I'm saying? I'm telling you this because that's how they did Jesus. That's how they did most of our people. Right? I could give you personal things, but I'm not going there. So here's God. Went to jail and turned in by his own. 2 people working for J. Edgar Hoover. One was J. Edgar Hoover's chauffeur. The other was the doorman at the Department of Justice, letting people in and out, opening doors. 2 black men that joined Garvey's movement. One worked in the mailroom and helped in pushing this mail fraud thing against Garvey. Another one worked as a captain of ships. He knew how to navigate steamships, and so he got the job. And he kept on rigging the furnace and different things so that they had to keep putting more money into the steamship and losing money at the same time, and they could hardly ever move from the dock. I'm telling you, you got to know your bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Take the good, use it, take the bad. And so that's like they said about Yeshua. He said he studied the prophets and messengers before him. And if you listen to him and read them in the Bible, he quoted them. And he says that he had to study them so that he might walk perfect. So we have to study God. We have to study Elijah. We have to study Nat Turner. We have to study the men and women who were successful and waking our people up. And then we got to study where they went wrong. Because we're going to be faced with the same stuff. And by being faced with that, you'll have an opportunity to break that cycle because you know about it. But if you don't know about it, if your children don't know about it, if your children's children don't know about it, they will continue to repeat stuff and don't even know they repeat. And we'll stay in the condition that we're in. That's why you must remember Dr. Webb Evans. You must remember the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. In October, we'll be studying the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. In October. November, we'll be studying Dr. Webb Evans and Minister Raheem. That's what we'll be studying in November. I don't know how much time I got, but I want to finish reading if I got more time. Now check this out. Amy published 2 volumes of his speeches and writings, and he entitled Philosophies and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. She published those books. She did, his wife. She acted as his personal representative while he was in prison. She traveled to speak at local universal improvement divisions throughout the country. She met with public officials and Universal Negro Improvement Association officers to carry out his directions. And she organized Universal Negro Improvement Association conferences and affairs. She was an associate editor of the Negro World newspaper 1924 until 1927, introduced a new page called Our Women and What They Think. This page carried international news about the status of women, poetry, profiles of leading Black women and Black female historical figures, and columns by and about members of women's auxiliaries. Look at it. She was not a feminist to the level of what white feminists are. White feminists are against a white man. She was a feminist and bringing out and sharing with Black women, other great legendary Black women, so Black women will have somebody to pull up off of and improve themselves as they go forward. Stuff that they did not know. After Garvey's death in 1940, Amy became a contributing editor to a Black nationalist journal named The African, which was published in Harlem in 1940. Amy established the African Studies Circle of the World in Jamaica in the late 40s. She published the book, Garvey and Garveyism, in 1963. See, now, when Garvey was kicked out of America, yeah, they got rid of him. He went back to Jamaica, but he didn't want to stay in Jamaica. So he moved to England in 1934, but Amy didn't go with him. Her and her children stayed behind. That sounds terrible to some people. But the man was a businessman. But he was a businessman for Black people. He was making moves and strategies for Black people. He had soldiers. You saw them pictures earlier. Those were his soldiers. That was his team. He had 4 million members, y'all, throughout the United States and other countries. 990 chapters. So it would behoove the Nation of Islam to say that Elijah stood on his shoulder. Why not? Yes, the Nation of Islam was a more spiritual movement, was a movement built on Islam, submitting your will to the will of God. Marcus Garvey was Christian, but he didn't make that the forefront of what he was doing, but he was Christian. And before he moved to America, he had met a guy named Deuce Muhammad who was Muslim. So he learned something about Muslims also. So now we take Elijah Muhammad and we take Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, and others, and work together in unity with the group that's around today. Do you know how far we would go in our unity? Just set aside all our differences. Don't worry about the religion. I read it earlier, but live by it. Don't just know it. So August 13th is the red, black, and green. I got 2 minutes. Okay. Then I'm going to read these 2 minutes. Red, black, and green flag, first introduced in 1920 during the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League, headed by Garvey, at its first international convention held in New York City at Madison Square Garden. After filling the garden with over 25,000 people and meeting for the entire month of August 1920, the organization emerged with a 54-point Declaration of Rights of the Negro people of the world. Among those was the adoption of the red, black, and green flag as a universal symbol of Black unity at home and abroad. All right, the red, black, and green. And Amy Garvey wrote, y'all, here's to this flag of mine, red, black, and green. She wrote that. Give y'all some lost history of Marcus Garvey. Garvey incorporated the Universal Negro Improvement Association as a business corporation in New York City on July the 2nd, 1918. 3 years later, in 1921, Garvey's UNIA, following grew to 4 million stock investors worldwide. These followers were actually investors who brought the UNIA's corporate stock to contribute to the 100% Black-owned business corporation. African people all around the globe invested their hard-earned money into the UNIA because the Garveyite movement differed from other Black organizations who only seemed to explain the problems that prevailed in the Black community. In other words, always talking about the problem, while he talked about the solution. All right? So I'm going to be doing a little bit different soon to where this particular lecture will extend to 2 o'clock starting next week. But right now, we're going to do question and answer for the next 30 minutes to those who joined on and linked up with us via Zoom. So I'm going to stop now and I'll finish my information to you, Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, this Wednesday. Same bad time, same bad channel, same Zoom link at 7 o'clock. So now I'm going to leave you as I read you the ancient, the holy words of peace in the languages of our fathers of peace, Hotel, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Barghani, Afia, and Ashe. Black power and peace.
thank you for joining us today for our weekly Sunday worship service. We hope that you have enjoyed our founder, Minister Raheem Kassed Otten's lecture today, titled Two Great Men, about Marcus Garvey and Dr. Webb Evans. As you go throughout your week today, make sure you are celebrating our month, this month, National Black Business Month, in honor of Dr. Webb Evans. If you have enjoyed what you have heard today, you can support us by sending us a donation on Cash App. We are a grassroots movement and every donation helps. You can also reach out to us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/TOMA Nation2, or you can call us at 708-730-4858. Please share this video with your friends and family, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great day.